Okay. Any questions pertaining to this meditation complications, issues, or problems? Anyone with eyes open? The problems, the multitasking problems, and so forth. Any questions? Okay. If not, then we'll switch to the main talk. Okay, first we have the Aranyagarbhuna, who was prophesied by the Buddha Shakyamuni. And Buddha Shakyamuni, of course, appeared 2,500 years ago. And Aranyagarbhuna, say according to the classical texts, are said to be like 100, 200 years after the Buddha Shakyamuni. But according to the today's modern scholars, they speak about in the 1st century or 2nd century. It doesn't matter. So Aranyagarbhuna, what he said, his text in praise of Dharma Dhatu, in praise of Dharma Dhatu. Dharma Dhatu means ultimate expanse of the reality. Ultimate expanse of the reality, Dharma Dhatu. Dharma, Dharma, Dhatu. There, he gave a very beautiful analogy to identify who we are, who each one of us, who we are. Today, if I ask you the question, okay, how many of you are excited to be, in case if there's a possibility, excited to be having a cup of tea with His Holiness the Dalai Lama? Raise hands. You're happy, you're so happy. Okay, how many of you are excited to have a cup of tea with your classmate? Same was there. He or she should be excited with me, not only with myself, I with me with him. Okay, so this is the bias that we have. That Buddha, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Jesus Christ, and the Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and for example, the Abraham, and for example, say Baha'u'llah, Zoroaster, all these enlightened beings, they are so enlightened. My classmate, who is he, who is she? Okay, this is our bias. The reality is, as I said earlier, that we all have the same purity, same amount of gold, same amount of diamond within us. Only difference is that your classmate, the diamond may not be as pure, the gold may not be as pure, but the amount of gold is the same. And whereas in the case of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the Buddha, Jesus Christ, and so forth, they have reached such a purity of that. The gold is so pure. This is the difference. Okay, so with this, the analogy given by Aranyagarbhuna is that if I sent you to a room, okay, if you want to read books, you can go to that room, room A or room B. Both have two extremely bright, stable lights. Bright and stable lights. Two very bright lights with the stability there. When you go to room A, it's so dark. You don't see any light. Then when you go the room B, it's so bright, so good, and you there. Then I ask you, which room did you go? B, why not to A? Because it's so dark. Okay, there's a light there. No, there's no light. Okay, so I take you there to room A, very dark, and then we see that vaguely we could see a vase, a picture put upside down. Then I said that, okay, I'm sorry, there's a light inside this. And you could not believe this. How can I know that there's a light there? It's a very dark picture. Okay, believe it or not, you punch a hole from any direction of the picture. You punch a hole, and what happens? From that hole, the light from inside beam forth. Which means that there is a light. I was not telling a lie. There's a light there. And then, to make sure that this light inside, it pervades in all directions of the room. The way the light in room B pervades all directions. How do you know that? You will ask this question. I'll ask you to break the picture. You break it, and the light inside, you don't have to put any effort to bring the light to this direction, to that direction. Just break the picture, and the light from inside will fall in all 10 directions. So the light inside the picture is each one of us. Light out without the picture in room B is like the Buddha, Jesus Christ, and all these enlightened beings. And which light is brighter? The one inside the picture or the one in room B? Which is brighter? Same. Only thing is that the picture is the one which obscures the beautiful light inside the room A. So we all have the same incredibly beautiful light inside. And this is not a poetic. Don't forget it. This is not a poem. This is not a poem. This is reality. This is reality. For sure you have questions. How do you know that this is reality? Okay. So for these, don't refrain yourself. Don't restrain yourself from asking such questions. It's so important. Meanwhile, at times, for example, quantum physics, to learn quantum physics, let us not expect that I'll understand it within like 10 minutes or just one lecture. So for that matter, we should be a little patient. We should keep going, keep studying, exploring, and then you'll discover the quantum physics. Likewise, say how is it that each one of us, we have this light. So this is something, we have so many examples about the actual meaning, actual conviction we'll gain through, through process of analysis, through process of reflections. This is so important. Only if you gain conviction in this potential within each one of us, then you will value yourself, you will love yourself. So it is so important. It is so important for us, for each one of us, to know how to love ourselves. It's so important. Because this diamond is a diamond. It's so precious. We have to know how to love ourselves. And oftentimes, wherever we go, in the west, east, north, south, wherever we go, we see that oftentimes we meet with people who oftentimes just describe themselves as, I hate myself. This is the greatest sort of failure. The moment you hate yourself, this is the greatest sort of failure. Nobody can fail you. It is only you who can fail you. How? When you say that I hate myself, this is the greatest failure. So therefore, why should you hate yourself? Do you admire His Holiness the Dalai Lama? Do you admire Jesus Christ? Do you admire the Buddha? If you do admire, why? Why do you admire them? Because they have this beautiful treasure coming out. You also have the beautiful treasure. Just break the vase. You also have the beautiful treasure. Why should you have to hate yourself? You should love yourself. You should respect yourself. You should adore yourself. This is so important. So important. So with this, what I like to share with the people here is that should you have friends who go through tragedies, who go through difficult times, and who just go through, let's say, a very tragic phase of their life where they are almost on the verge to give up on their life. So there, please be skillful and give them the assurance that you also have this light. you also have this beautiful treasure inside. Just see how to reassure them, give them a sense of hope, a new sense of hope. This is so important. It's not exaggeration, this is something which is a reality. Okay, with this in mind, the next question is, if there is this light, how can we make it come out? It is not yet out. How can we make it out? So the analogy that I like to, which I already gave you earlier, is the gold mixed with the soil. So first of all, we need to identify what the soil is like. The soil, the mixture of which obscures the gold from blazing, gold from glowing. So this soil. Soil is the dirt. It's not the true nature. The true nature of the gold is glowing. It's glowing. So when it's not glowing means there's some stain coming. There's some stain in the air. So our mind, is it glowing? Glowing with joy, infinite joy, no problem, no tension. The Sunday mornings glowing? No, what happens Sunday morning? Thursday evenings? Thursday evenings glowing. Sunday morning shut down, the battery shut down, right? Okay, so why? Because we see that there's a fluctuation happening in the mind, the fluctuation, sometimes go down. Okay, so there, it's not that our mind feels this incredible joy 24/7. The true nature of your mind is that the joy within this. Tell me, the gold. So does it glow sometime and does it not glow sometime? Is this the reality of gold? Yeah. Only when the soil is mixed, then the gold stops to glow. If the soil is no more there, remove the soil. You don't have to make the gold glow. This is an intrinsic nature of the gold to glow. Likewise, you remove the metal soil, your mind will forever glow with joy and fearlessness. Fearlessness and the joy. This is what happens. This is who you are. This is who your friends are. Right? And for us, when we go through our difficult stages, difficult phases of our life, for example, everybody, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, is what everybody is bound to go through. When we go through these phases of our life, let us not forget that true inside me, there's the purity, the perfect purity, the perfect treasure of happiness which glows 24/7, right? It's just a matter of changing the clothes. You gain conviction in this, you will see that, wow, this is so beautiful. For example, today I worked so hard, and they say the dirty you were, and then remove the dirty clothes and put in the new clothes. You freshen up. Again, you become a very fresh person. Likewise, it's just the physical body is like a dirty cloth, right? Say any new clothes that you put on, this is bound to become old. It's bound to be worn out. Likewise, but the true nature of yourself, this is forever glowing with purity, with joy, 24/7. This is who we are. Now, if this is who we are, do we display this quality at all times? No, of course not. If this is not, then how do we know that it is there? Okay, so the way the gold, the true intrinsic nature of the gold is to glow. But we see that from when we take the gold in the form of the gold ore, it's just like soil. It's just like ordinary soil. We may dump this, but the gold experts will not dump this. Gold experts will not dump this. It's so precious, there's gold there. Likewise, ordinary people like us, we may dump each other. But highly realized beings, they will see gold in us, they will not dump us. For them, each one of us, we are precious. Each one of us, we are like their children. It's so precious. Because each one of us, we have the gold of purity, the gold of 24/7 happiness there, fearlessness and happiness. Okay, So now if this, wow, this is amazing. But what clue do I have? And why it is not manifesting yet? The gold, why it is not glowing, is because of the dirt, soil. Why this purity of the fearlessness and the infinite happiness, expansive happiness? Why it's not being manifested? Because just as gold doesn't glow because of the dirt, our mind doesn't glow with fearlessness and the infinite happiness as of now, because there's a dirt there. What is that dirt? Okay, this is the question. To apply the remedies, to remove the problems, first we have to identify the problems. For example, if you have, say, constant fever, sweating, loss of weight, and so forth, and then is there anyone from the medical side, doctor, nurses, anyone? Okay, over there. So let's say paracetamol is being used here? Okay, so let's say that, oh, I have a fever, I have the headache for the last 3 days, oh, take paracetamol. Does it help? Yes, it helps. But does it help for good? You take the paracetamol, in 2 hours time, for 2 hours, you are calm, cool, and again the fever comes back, right? What's the problem? Why the paracetamol is not helping us? Hey, tell me, what should we be doing then? What should we be doing? Yes, over there, what would you say? Huh?
The root of the problem.
Yes, right? We have to identify the problem. So what we have discovered now is just the symptoms. The fever, headache. These are just the symptoms. This is not the real problem. Real problem is inside. It can be tuberculosis. Right? So we are just treating the symptoms. We are going for the symptomatic treatment. So we have to go to treat the root. For that matter, you have to identify the root. It can be because of tuberculosis. It can be because of pneumonia. It can be because of malaria. It can be because of HIV. It can be because of whatever reasons. Failure, heart failure, whatever. Right? Unless you identify the problem so well, unless you identify the problem so well, no matter what effort you put in, no matter what effort you invest, may go in vain. So for that matter, we have to identify the problem so well. So now if something is obstructing the true nature inside to manifest in the form of infinite the fearlessness and expansive or infinite happiness, infinite joy. If these two things are being inhibited by something, what is that something? We have to identify that. So that we call it mental defilements, mental states, mental obscurations. And the mental obscurations, there are two kinds. Okay, is there anyone who doesn't take garlic? Anyone who is vegan? Okay, you take garlic? No garlic. You take garlic. Okay. Let's say somebody doesn't take garlic. And then accidentally the person smashes garlic in the mug. Right? And so, who did it? You freak. And the person apologized, owned up. And, oh, I'm sorry, I did it. I thought that you were taking garlic. And the person removed the garlic, solid part of the garlic, and washed it so well with the water. Okay, is there any garlic now? No garlic. No solid garlic. Smell. What do you smell? It still smells garlic. Likewise, mental defilements, there are two. The solid mental defilements, like the solid garlic, remove the solid garlic, remove the solid mental defilements, and it still smells garlic. There are two. The solid defilements are known as the afflictive obscurations. Solid defilements are referred to as the afflictive obscurations, and smell of the garlic. left as a residue is known as the cognitive obscuration, afflictive. I'll explain each one of them. Afflictive obscurations, A-F-F-L-I-C-T-I-V-E. A-F-F-L-I-C, afflict, T-I-V-E. Afflictive obscurations, the solid one. And the cognitive obscurations, C-O-G-N-I-T-I-V-E. Cognitive obscurations. Okay. Which is more difficult to remove, the solid garlic or the smell? The smell is more difficult. So which of the two obscurations, afflictive obscurations or the cognitive obscurations, which of the two is more difficult to be removed? Cognitive, right? From this example, we see that the cognitive obscurations is more difficult to be removed. Okay, just for us to lift up a little bit, feel light a little bit, what? Let me dream of removing my metal stains. First the solid part, and the second, the smell, the smell of the garlic, the cognitive. Okay, for that matter, okay, how many of you in your life you had been through some difficulties, challenges in your life? Raise hands. Okay, actually it's my wrong question. The correct question should be, how many of you do not know what is challenge in life? What is difficulty? I don't know what it is. Raise hands. Anybody who has no clue of that? Okay, which means that we all have this problems. If you don't mind, one or two, would you mind sharing with us as to what challenges, what difficulties you've been through? Very sour, very low phase of your life. One or two, like to share with us? Anybody? Just raise hands very quickly. Anyone?
Grief.
Yes.
Grief over parents.
Grief, acute grief over the loss of the parents. Yes. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Sickness of the member of the family.
A sickness of the member of a family. This is very acutely painful. Yes. Anybody else? Maybe third one? Anyone?
Also happy.
Huh?
Also happy occasions.
No. I'm asking what the challenge is. If you know the challenges, then you will learn how to remove the challenge. Then you will feel the happiness. Okay. Anyone?
Worry about the child.
Worry over the child, over the child's education, health. Okay, very good. So we see that these problems are there. These problems are there, and the worries. Okay, do you agree with me or not? Worry is a form of fear. Do you agree with me? Good. Say the pain of having lost your near and dear ones. This pain. This is again a very manifest form of fear. The fear, right? Initially it's a fear, then it manifests in the form of pain. The fear of losing your mother, right? The fear. Again, the fear or the outcome of the fear in the form of the pain, acute pain, right? And then one of your family members becoming sick. Again, a great sense of, say, the loss, the sense of pain to see that. I remember when I was very young, when I was, I think, age maybe 10. By the way, I lost my mother very early age. Then I only had my father. In the daytime, sometimes my father used to lean against the wall and then doze off. When he started dozing off, I used to be so scared that whether he's breathing. I would touch his chest to see whether he's breathing. Right? So much of fear. Okay. So what I'm saying is that a life is marked with full of fears. Do you agree with me or not? Fear meaning that it can be very insignificant to the excruciatingly great degree of fear, right? It's just full of fears. Okay, how many feel excitement to have fear? No excitement, no. Fear means no excitement. right? I don't want to have any form of fear.
No, you have like roller coaster and like this. I like this fear.
Okay, you like the fear.
No,
Okay.
very special kind of fear.
Okay. So some people they what they say, only if there's a fear, you'll appreciate the freedom from the fear. Is what they say?
Yeah.
Yes. When you go down so fast, then you can climb up. That's beautiful. Okay. So what I'm saying is that the fear, nobody wants it. After the fear, when it starts climbing up, you like it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. No point in going down deliberately if there's a way going up all the time. Right? Finally, what you want is you want to climb up all the time. If there is a way by which, without going down, if you can climb up all the time, why not? Right? Okay. So the point is that what we dislike to have is the fear, any form of fear. One. And some people, they may not at point, they may not have manifest fear, but they feel so bored, right? It's not excitement. Okay, now there are two things in my life. Do you agree with me? That one thing that in my life, my journey is to get rid of all forms of fears. Do you agree with me? Journey of my life is to try my best to get rid of the fears. Do you agree with me? This is one part of your journey. Another part of the journey is to make the life very full of fun and happiness and joy, the ease. Do you agree with me? And ease, 10% or 100%? If possible, 100%, right? Whether or not it's possible is a question. Otherwise, if possible, 100% ease, right? Ease. Okay, so finally what we see is what we want is that I'm trying to describe the two obstacles. What are the two obstacles? Hey, what are the two obstacles? Obstructions.
Driving in the car. Driving in the car.
What are the two obstructions which we just obscurations which we learned today? Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. What we learned is afflictive obscurations refer to the gross defilements, and the cognitive obscurations refer to the garlic smell like the subtle one. What exactly is that? Still, I've not disclosed it. Right? Okay, I'm trying to explain that. So what we see is that what we want is we want to get rid of all the fears. One. Number two, we want to have the maximum ease. Sometimes when I use the word happiness, some people they don't like it. I don't really seek happiness. I want the ease. Okay, so it's a matter of the language. The point is that I want the maximum ease. I want to get rid of all the fears. How many of you agree with me? Okay, is it the Israelis or the non-Israelis who want to achieve that goal? Tell me, Israelis or non-Israelis? Both. Boys or the girls? Everybody, educated or uneducated. Jews,